All right, so in this episode, we're going to talk about what went on when the University of Georgia and the University of Clemson faced off Saturday. Georgia wins the game, but we're just going to react to it. Most of you that are watching this most likely watched the game, but we're just going to talk a little bit about that, our thoughts on it, and just give an initial reaction and some thoughts going forward for both programs. So off the beat, John, what's your just initial thoughts?
Well, I'll tell you what, as much as I was dreading having to do this video, it's probably going to be extremely therapeutic because as much of a state of depression
Tell us where
I
Georgia
was
hurt
in
you.
last night. Georgia hurt me deep in my soul and deep in my heart.
I'm down
But-
with just ending the video right
And
there.
I need to get some things off my chest. But in all reality, I would say there's obviously some obvious things that we can point out where both Clemson and Georgia struggle, but especially Clemson, and that being the offensive line. We can obviously start there. But what disappointed me the most, because our defense played great. Our defense was elite just as Georgia's was. But what disappointed me the most is even with Georgia, you saw an obvious game plan when it came to JT Daniels. What was it? We're not letting him have the ball for more than a second half.
Right.
Get out 2-yard, 3-yard, 4-yard, 5-yard pass.
Dink and dunk.
Dink and dunk. There was an obvious game plan. And they somewhat executed, somewhat didn't, obviously.
Right.
With Clemson,
As far as sustained drives, Georgia had a lot more.
yeah.
They didn't,
The
they
difference
didn't
in that,
get down to, scoring position a lot.
they got a first down here and there.
Right.
But real
there were
quick.
several drives Georgia went from the 25
Oh, yeah.
to the other 25.
Right.
And one you have the missed field goal.
Right.
Yeah.
One you have the made field goal. You've got a couple balls to the end zone. That one to Brock Bowers, he almost come down with. I mean, there was a few plays away from Georgia scoring a touchdown.
Yeah.
But again, real quick, you watched the game and you said, all right, I see what Georgia's trying to do. I see their game plan.
Right.
What was our game plan? Because we obviously weren't trying to run the ball, and I understand that. And with DJ, after the first 3 sacks, why is he still doing a 5-step drop?
Right.
Why is he?
Right.
I understand we're trying to get a chunk play. I understand we're trying to do something, but typically I hate our screen passes, but we call 2 or 3 all game.
Yeah.
There was the few quick slants we did. I mean, there was no obvious game plan. It
Right.
seems so inconsistent. As a Clemson fan, it just had me scratching my head. Is what were they thinking going into this game? Was the way they were going to try to attack this Georgia
Right.
defense.
And as a Clemson fan, first of all, congrats, Georgia.
Absolutely.
For the win. Definitely wasn't pretty on either side, but in reality, you don't have to be pretty to win.
Right.
You just have to
Win.
you have to have one more point than the other team does.
Yep.
And that's what Georgia did. So hats off to Georgia. But yeah, one of my takeaways was again the offensive line. I don't care, and I've seen so many people report of, DJ's not the guy, DJ's not Trevor, DJ's not this and that. I don't care who you had back there. In my own opinion, I don't care if Trevor would have been back there. Yeah, we may have moved the ball a little bit better, but no matter who you have at quarterback, if they don't have more than 2.5 seconds to throw the ball, they're not going to be able to move the ball. We've seen that last year in the Super Bowl with Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
Maybe the best quarterback, athlete-wise in the NFL,
Yeah.
was under pressure all night and could not
do
make
nothing.
anything happen. But besides that, even the moments what really surprised me was even the moments that DJ had time to throw, it didn't seem like him and the receivers were on the same page. There was I know at least 2 occasions.
Oh no, absolutely.
Where the running back and the wide receiver ran the exact same route.
Yeah, no,
ran to
absolutely.
the same
Yeah.
exact spot on the field.
But at the same time, and this is just in DJ's defense, after you're getting absolutely crushed by that defensive line, come the third quarter, you're going to be rattled and lost.
Right.
I mean,
is it that the receivers? Because there was a couple times where DJ threw to an open receiver and the receiver didn't have his head turned. Was looking downfield.
but it's because he had no time. He
Right.
had to get rid of the ball.
Right.
I mean, he had to throw it.
Well, that's the thing. When you're able to affect a quarterback, you're able to affect an offense.
Right.
We went into this game knowing Clemson was going to struggle to run the ball. What we didn't know was would they be able to get not every drive, but every now and then 5 or 6 yard runs,
Right.
4 or 5 yard runs.
You have to do that.
And there was very little. One of your best runs was in the fourth quarter with the Lynn when he finally came.
Which that's a whole nother episode of why.
I feel very confident that Lynn was on
Well,
a disciplinary.
What I heard
situation.
rumored was he was being sat for behavioral issues. I don't know if it was a first half sat or if finally it was supposed to be a full game and Dabo said, "Screw it, I'm tired of not moving
and
the
no
ball, put Lynch in."
disrespect to Clemson or Dabo, I think Dabo got in the fourth quarter and
I think
said,
it's
we
potential.
need you bad enough to the point you've sat your time. come play.
No, I think that's
Yeah.
because it's not like he came in the third quarter; he came in the fourth quarter. I think there's potential there.
Before we go
absolutely.
any farther, I forgot to do one thing. Shout out to Kim
Oh, yeah,
Smith
absolutely.
with Just Jesus Network Radio, right above me. Internet radio app for all your gospel preaching, singing, all that good stuff. Our boy Dave is on there, 8:30, and also American Senior Benefits Insurance Company. Thank him for giving us sponsor.
Check all his information.
Forgot to get
below.
No, and that's the thing, is the Georgia defensive scheme was something DJ's never seen.
Oh, absolutely.
He's seen a good defense in Notre Dame.
Well, I disagree with that.
That's not a bad defense that he saw.
It wasn't, but
it's not Georgia.
But it wasn't Georgia, and that's what I've seen a lot of people comment and saying that. Well, he doesn't look like he did last year. He doesn't look like he did last year. He's not playing against the same team.
Well, for one, there was no film on him, hardly any when he played Notre Dame. None when he played Boston College. And in both of those games, yes, he looked really good. Yes, he played great. Statistically, he looked good. There were times late in both of those games he struggled to move the football.
He did, yeah. Especially in the overtime against Notre Dame.
Especially against Notre Dame. And that cost you. In this game, we knew Georgia and Clemson both were going to impact the quarterback.
Yeah.
And we knew it was going to come down to one play.
Yep.
And that's the bottom line.
Right.
Is the Georgia defense was able to make one more play
yep.
than the Clemson defense or offense, and that was the determining factor.
And another thing that blows my mind though is, and you're right. Georgia's defense, I definitely give them the edge. They both played great, but Clemson won the turnover battle, and one of those was on special teams, and we still lost the game.
Yeah.
And we 2 turnovers to their 1 turnover, but that 1 turnover
right.
was a
and
touchdown.
that's what me and you were talking about last night. I would like to see the stat where a team doesn't allow an offensive touchdown
and they
wins the turnover battle and still loses the game.
Well,
it's got to be a small hole.
Oh yeah.
I remember a quote from somebody I watch, and he said this: "It's not a matter of if you get beat because you're going to, but it's a matter of when you get beat. It's not a matter of if you make a mistake because you're going to. It's a matter of when. And the timing is everything." Kendall Milton, the ball hits him in the leg. It's really a boneheaded move.
Right.
It all kind of happened fast.
Right.
You got to think is a prisoner of the moment there. Clemson recovers a punt. Okay, well, was it the very next play? He threw the pick six, or 2 plays later.
It was on that drive,
next sequence of it was 2 or 3 plays later.
Yeah.
If DJ,
because we got it on like the 50 and it happened on
it was a third
30.
down.
It almost in a sense benefited Georgia that we muffed the punt.
Right.
Because 2 plays later, we house call the pick.
Right. And if you'd have got it on offense.
And the odds are we go 3 or 3 and out or end up punting back to you.
Right.
And that's the thing is it's a matter of when and if. And like I said, if you watch that play, I know Dabo said it was Ross's fault. It wasn't Ross's fault.
No.
That was just a shallow screen.
It wasn't.
And I'll tell you this too. Ross had 5 or 6 yards. The safety just made a play.
No, absolutely.
Go watch that rep. Christopher Smith closed 6 or 7 yards.
No, he did.
To the point that DJ rips his arm back to the point, and DJ's not tossing the ball.
Right,
No,
he's ripping that
he's
thing.
got an arm for sure.
It was just a good football player making a football play.
And like we've talked about many times in these big games, we talked about it going into this and all our previews, all our talk up to it. In big games like, yes, I understand in some big games, that get hyped up, it's a blowout or it's a big win. But most of the time, when you have 2 good teams, and we talked about it so many times, that these teams on paper were almost identical.
Oh, they were.
And in those type of games, it comes down to that 1 or 2 big plays. And if you don't make it, then you don't win the game. And unfortunately, Clemson didn't make it.
And then back to something you said, David, looking at the game is, DJ, he was successful. I use that term not meaning 10, 12 yards. I mean 2 yards because that was successful last night against y'all's defense in that power run. Yeah. But for one, we didn't do it much. But when you already have a struggling running game, and now granted, DJ's not no burner. Like a lot of people look at DJ and they automatically assume like he's a dual threat guy.
Right.
He's less of a dual threat than Trevor Lawrence.
Right.
And significantly less of a dual threat than Deshaun Watson. But obviously he's a big dude. He can run.
Right.
But
he's as big as the linebackers.
Yeah. When you have a struggling running game like that, you want that extra blocker in the running back.
Yeah.
Why didn't we do more of that?
Right.
But also, as David said, you can tell that if it's not a design run, he's not really a willing runner at all.
He's not.
Right.
Like I remember that one play specifically. One of the sacks. I don't remember which one it was.
It was wide open.
Actually,
yeah.
Wait, hold on 1 second.
He got sacked again.
I think he just got sacked again.
Yeah. But no, I remember specifically. It was good protection. The defensive end was coming out
early on.
Yeah.
Smith folded him up.
Not that one.
No,
not
it
that
was
one.
it was
I
coming.
It was a little bit later. In
It
the
was
game.
coming in on the right. The defensive end was coming in on the right hand side, and there was literally a hole.
I mean, it was wide open.
Probably 6 foot wide.
Like he honestly
But-
probably ran 10, 15 yards.
At least
before
10,
getting
15
touched.
yards, and he got sacked because he didn't tuck it and run. And I don't know if that's being scared or if that's inexperience.
Again, going back to what I said earlier, what I truly think it is, for one, it's a little bit inexperience in the great defense you're playing, but that was, I think, it was either later in the third quarter or early in the
He'd
fourth.
already been rattled.
It was later in the third. He's already been rattled. He's
Well,
not seeing it well at all.
It was only. Did y'all go 3-and-out the first drive?
Yeah,
Yeah, we did.
yeah. We didn't have.
He got sacked the second or third play of the game.
The only first down we had in the whole
First drive, yeah.
The only first down we had in the whole first quarter was off that pass interference.
Because it was the first drive that we rushed 3. It was what you would call a coverage sack.
Yeah.
Nolan Smith bull rushes the right tackle and DJ holds on to the ball. An experienced guy most likely throws the ball away or scrambles for a couple yards, but and I will say there was a QB spy on the play, but we sack him. And then it's like I think the very next play, or it wasn't much farther. It may have been before the sack that Devontae Wyatt knocks down. There goes Dallas doing his thing again. Devontae Wyatt knocks down what looked to be a 10 or 15 yard gain of a pass.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
At this point, DJ's probably thinking, "What do I have to do?"
What am I gonna do?
Because you're 6'5",
Right.
you have no struggle
Yeah.
throwing it over somebody's head, but you've got 6'6" offensive line or defensive linemen knocking the ball down, so you're getting sacked if you hold on to the ball. You release it quick. DJ was rattled. It was obvious.
No, 100% he was. I see like a lot of Clemson fans, especially, kind of like really throwing shade on DJ, and he played a bad game. There's no denying that whatsoever.
Was he like 20 something for 44?
Something like that. I mean, it was a bad game.
We threw the ball 44 times.
44.
Eventually, before too long, but
It didn't seem like it.
No, it didn't.
Did I lose?
Well, we ran like 62 or 63 plays.
We hardly had the ball.
That's the first. And stats wise, we can throw this out. That's the first time Clemson's been held scoreless in 147 games. The next
touchdowns.
No points.
Oh.
In the first half. Yeah,
First half.
points in the first half. That's the next closest streak is Oklahoma with 87 games. We had 60 games on them.
But going back,
First time we've lost back-to-back games since 2011.
But again, it's not like we lost to Ohio State and Georgia.
Yeah, I mean that's
they're
two
great.
If you had to lose
Well, hold
the two teams,
I want to acknowledge something. This is what I've been saying as a Georgia fan to everybody. I'm like, hey, look, guys. Yeah, we've lost some big games, but we're talking about Alabama and 2019 LSU here.
Right.
Calm down a little bit, and that's the thing. Clemson fans and college football fans don't go, oh my God, Clemson's done. They lost to 2 really good football teams.
Yeah.
And it's not like now OSU you did get blown out.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's not like you lost this game.
Right. And that's the thing. Me and you were talking about last night, David. Or I think that. Am I upset that we lost? Yes. But I was talking to you, John. Yeah. It's almost like. Don't get me wrong. We lost. We're 0-1.
Right.
But it's almost like in a way I don't feel like we lost.
It was a weird feeling game the way the game was.
Right, because
was.
literally,
It was such a weird game.
if you take away the pick six, it's a 3-3 game going into overtime.
Yeah.
The game felt like.
And if
honestly, in a sense, really, because at least offensively, both teams played so bad, it almost seemed like nobody won.
Yeah, I've never watched a Clemson game like that.
No,
ever.
I've never experienced a game where I was a fan and a game went like that.
Yeah, ever.
I love defense.
Yeah,
and
I enjoyed the mess out of that game.
And there were times JT went like 13 for 16 or something like that.
At one time, yeah.
Because he only threw the ball like 20 times. He only had like 4 incompletions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While DJ threw the ball 44 sometimes. The difference in this game was also the fact Georgia ran for 130 yards.
Yeah.
It may not seem like they ran for 130
right.
yards.
Y'all got a lot of those. I mean, not saying y'all did, but discredit, but a lot of those were on that like last 2 drives.
Well, and that last drive was a dagger.
Yeah.
That last run was a dagger.
Yeah.
Zeus runs over Mario Goodrich.
Yeah.
Gets the first down. The game was over.
Yeah.
But that was a little bit of the difference. But man, I will say this: it's like JT, whatever Venables was doing in that end zone is. And the thing is that Venables does so well that blows my mind is his disguise.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
He is able to show cover 1 and drop back into cover 3. Yeah. He's able to show cover 3, drop back into cover 1. Yeah. It's ridiculous because he shows you cover 3 buzz, runs Tampa 2. He shows you Tampa 2, cover 3 buzz. And the thing is, these Clemson players are so well coached. Some of these guys, and I don't mean any disrespect by this, some of these guys aren't going to be NFL players.
No, you're 100%. Yeah. You're 100% right.
I don't know that Scousey's going to be an NFL
No,
guy.
he won't be.
I could, yeah.
But they are so well coached. This was a chess match. Is
Yeah.
what this was.
Yep.
And what Georgia was basically saying, and what they told me by the end of the game, was that we trust our defense.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I know I want to see the offense develop, but like I've mentioned, George Pickens not playing, starting X receiver. Kyrus Jackson not playing, starting slot receiver. Jermaine Burton very limited, starting wide receiver. I mean that's your
absolutely.
That's your top
And
three wide receivers not playing.
And like
Darnell Washington starting tight end not playing while Brock Bowers showed up and showed out.
very much so. Yeah. And like we talked about last night,
So Brock Bowers impressive.
he did, yeah,
And
for sure.
True freshman.
He's got
against the
at
defense.
minimum 3 years
Yeah,
in college football.
but we talked about last night. I don't think you can, judge these offenses based off of last night.
Absolutely not.
Because of the defense. Now, if Georgia comes out this week against UAB and Clemson comes out this week against SC State
only scores 3 touchdowns.
and only score, three touchdowns.
There's a problem.
Yeah,
with
then we'll
these
be
big
like,
problem.
okay, something's wrong. But
I'm gonna say this,
I expect both teams to rebound offensively this
and I'm
week.
gonna say this. I think both teams are gonna air it out
Yeah,
because both teams, I think this weekend are gonna say, we're gonna get this pass game clicking.
right.
And
And
this
it's
is
a
why-
good
this
it's a
is why
good
you
game
play-
to do it.
Right. This is why you play these bye games and these
Right.
5
Easy
teams and
ones.
these FCS teams.
especially early.
Yeah, it's because you're saying, all right, here's a chance to get live time and get some chemistry going.
Right.
But real quick, I'll throw a couple more things out there. Going back to the DJ thing, a lot of Clemson fans, ragging on DJ, and again, he deserves some hate for sure. But I'm not out on DJ.
I'm not either.
And I'm not
I
out
still
on
think,
JT
yeah, I
as
still
far
think
as
he's,
Georgia goes.
I still think he's gonna be a great quarterback. He's gonna be one of the best quarterbacks in college football. That's his third start of his career against probably the best defense.
Yep.
It's the best defense he'll ever see in his college career.
Well, I
no,
want to say
yeah.
this. And we should have looked it up. If you had to guess, how many drives did Clemson get?
I don't even know.
Statistics say that on a drive that you get sacked, you don't score a touchdown. You get sacked 7 times in a game.
I would say, but because y'all's offense for the most part went a lot of 3 and outs or 1 first downs.
Right.
Really, both offenses got a solid amount of drives.
They did.
They were just
But
off 3 and outs.
what did Clemson only have? 60-something plays? I think it
Maybe.
was 66
Maybe.
plays. I don't know. But the thing is there were some times that, man, and I'll say this, there were some crap calls on both sides.
No, absolutely.
There were some times that Georgia got a call, and I'm like, wow. And there were some times Clemson got a call.
You got 11.
11 drives.
Really?
11 drives.
So now the
I'd have
thing
thought
is,
more than that. I really would have.
the thing is here, obviously, a lot of those
Makes no
sacks.
sense.
There was a couple drives, 3 sacks in one drive.
Yeah.
There was
Especially during the end of the game.
late in the game.
Oh, yeah.
I remember.
Late in the game
I
is
think
when
it's
it
that
went
last drive y'all
back to
had
back,
back-to-back
yeah.
sacks.
Late in the games when it went crazy.
I dare you to score a touchdown. You're giving up back-to-back
Yeah.
sacks.
Right.
I mean, I dare you to.
Because we were moving the ball
I don't
on
care
that
who
last
you
drive.
Yeah, we were.
I don't care if you're Patrick Mahomes,
Man, that
Tom
4th
Brady,
down
Aaron
play.
Rodgers. That doesn't matter to me who you have or who you are.
Yeah.
You give up back-to-back sacks. And the thing is here, and I told somebody this today, a Georgia fan. I understand Clemson's offensive line didn't play that good. You were missing, I believe, what you said would have
Potentially would have been our starting.
potentially. Now I heard all week it would be the Brock Course or whatever his name.
Well, more than likely, he still would have been a guard.
But so
Try.
so it's mixed up a little bit similar to what Georgia's was. But the thing is, you give up these kind of sacks. It doesn't matter what playmakers
Right.
you have.
Right. No, absolutely.
And like I said, there's rumor Justin Ross had some sort of tweaked ankle injury. He definitely got pretty much locked
Right.
down. And I'll say
Everybody
this,
except for Joseph Ngata.
Right.
There was 2 good offensive players last night: Brock Bowers and Joseph Ngata.
and you
Literally,
saw flashes from Will Shipley.
Right.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the only running back in the last 2 years had success against this Georgia defense.
Yeah.
Najee Harris.
Yeah.
The only one.
And going back to real quickly, DJ, like you said, it's his 3rd start. He's got big shoes to fill.
No, he does. He does.
But I'm not giving that an excuse because you're a 5-star coming out of high school. That's your position.
Right.
Yeah, that's your job to step up, be who they want you to be. Do I think he'll get there? Yeah.
No,
I do. I'm not out on him.
I'm not pressing the alarm button. By
Right.
any stretch
If
of
there's a
imagination.
time to lose, if there's ever a good time, it is week 1.
We came into this game knowing good and well that we had a dang good chance that we were going to lose to
Yeah,
Georgia.
I-
Did I
I
think we were going to lose like that?
Right.
No.
I told you sitting on the couch over at John's house, I said, I expect to win the game as a Clemson fan, but I would not be surprised
Oh, yeah.
if we lose.
And I will say this: we still lose this game. Before what I'm about to say, we still lose 10-3. This doesn't change the total outcome of the game. But if you did notice, and it's not just because Lynn J. Dixon got one good run, but when he got in there, he started
Yep.
helping DJ a ton.
That is
he
true,
was calling
but-
out linebackers. He
Yeah.
was
No doubt.
recognizing
I
defenses,
think he
and
would've-
that would have helped us.
It would have
And
helped sustain drives, but you also, as far as him running, he was
he would
fresh.
no, and
Oh,
no, that's
yeah.
100%.
He came in against a Georgia team that played 45 minutes
Right.
of football and was
Right.
fresh.
And again, that's why I said we still lose that
Right.
game had he started the whole game. But also, he picked up 2 key blocks that protected DJ
Right.
from a sack that Will Shipley missed, that Kobe Pace missed.
And that's just
that's 1 or 2
no
sacks
offense,
possible.
no
back.
offense to Kobe Pace. He ain't it.
Yeah,
He definitely both our running backs, Kobe,
Even-
being Kobe Pace and Will Shipley, they looked lost in pass pro.
Right.
And once Lin J got in there, again, he's
But see, the thing
definitely
is,
fresh.
Will
He knew
Shipley's
he was
allowed
doing.
to.
No, absolutely.
And
He's
that's
a
what we
true
mentioned
freshman.
is these freshman running backs.
Pass pro is so
Like,
important.
it's not their skill set
Yeah.
that keeps them on the bench.
It's pass pro.
It's can they block.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember last year, Kendall Milton was really good.
Yeah.
But Kirby Smart saying, look, y'all want to see Kendall Milton, but I want my quarterback protected on third down.
Yep.
I mean, there was 2 that I can still see in my head. And again, y'all may even still get the sack that Will Shipley picked up the wrong guy. That he
Right.
would go help double team somebody and somebody would come free. That was Will Shipley's assignment,
yeah.
and he totally missed it.
Now, I will say this. JT had the better QBR. DJ had more yards. He threw the
But
ball
he threw the ball way more.
20-something more times.
Yeah.
Apart from 2 mistakes, these quarterbacks didn't necessarily play
God
bad.
awful. No, you're right.
Right.
People have to understand. Were there times that DJ made? But you gotta understand, man.
He had a second and a half to throw the ball.
Like I showed y'all the screen recording of we ran the motion, lads out, and there's nobody.
Yeah.
Now the safety's underneath, and Miles Murphy sacks him. That's the difference in the game. I wonder how many plays on the Clemson side
Right.
Justin Ross was streaking, or
Right.
Ladson was open,
Yeah.
and here
We're-
comes Jordan Davis.
yeah.
Or here comes Nolan Smith.
that we were
he couldn't do nothing.
that we were a second or second and a half away
and that's
from
the thing. It was obvious
or
to
bad ball like the very first drive.
Right. And there were so many times Georgia was really close to some swing routes with running backs to
Yeah.
break a tackle. I know that one to
Yeah.
James Cook. Andrew Booth, hats off to him. I didn't watch a ton of his coverage. I'm gonna be honest.
That's what impressed me the most about Andrew Booth was the way he played the run.
That's what I
Yeah,
think.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Like I'm gonna be honest. The zone was so complicated, I couldn't keep up with
Yeah.
it. I didn't
Yeah.
even try. I got to the point I was just watching the ball. I normally try to dissect. I normally pre-snap like, all right, what's going on? Have an idea.
Yeah.
No, I just gave up on it because
Yeah.
Clemson's showing you man to man, and they drop into cover six.
Yeah.
It makes no
I
sense.
really think out of the 22, and this is my 22 defensive players, we're probably watching 12
I'll tell you-
15 that's going to play in the league, and maybe 6 to 7 first
Not to toot-
second rounders.
I
Not to
think
toot the horn of Georgia, but an NFL scout said this on Twitter after the game. He said, "Send a bus to Athens and load it up and take it." To the
Yeah.
game."
Oh, no doubt about it.
I mean,
And you said the same for Clemson.
and you,
Andrew Booth, first round.
well, I'm about to say y'all definitely have more NFL talent, no doubt. But I would say you probably got Brian Breesy on our side, Miles Murphy, and
Oh,
Andrew
they're-
Booth. Those are just the first rounders.
Tyler
Yeah.
Davis, Brian Brzee, Miles Murphy, first rounders.
Tyler Davis might not be a first round just because of his size. He's got the ability to be a first round. He'll
Yeah.
probably
He's
be a
got
second round. He's
first
just-
round potential.
Yeah, absolutely.
But as far as I'm concerned, Murphy, Brzee, they could sit the season out.
Yeah.
They're first rounders.
Yeah.
Trent Simpson, he's going to end up being
Trent
a
Simpson,
top
I-
2 round guy.
Yeah. He's
Simpson's a freak, and that's just the bottom line. But like we say, give these offenses time.
Yep.
It's a known thing that most of the time in college
Offenses
football,
take longer.
offenses take longer.
Yep.
Football in general.
And that's how the NFL works.
Yeah.
And like Kirby Smart said, a lot of times by week 12, these defenses are kind of beat up.
Yeah.
These offenses are firing all cylinders. Give these offenses time.
Yep.
Georgia fans, we're going to get healthy. You give me a healthy George Pickens, a healthy Jermaine Burton, a healthy Arian, a healthy Karras Jackson, a healthy Darnell, I think we're going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Y'all defense is nasty. I learned that last night.
By the way,
we're gonna be hard
if
to
you're
beat.
still watching this, Clemson fans, I don't know if you've seen it tonight. EJ Williams out 4 to 5 weeks, some kind of thumb injury.
Thankfully-
It wasn't catching the ball because he didn't catch any balls. this
Thankfully,
week.
Clemson's really deep.
That's
Yeah,
receiver.
we are,
Extremely
but
good
he
luck,
is
too.
having surgery probably tomorrow. I would
So
imagine.
hopefully all goes well there.
Yeah, so
And if these
EJ
two-
Williams, another NFL guy.
If these two
good
teams-
thing we don't play any good teams for
Yeah, I was going to say.
the rest of the season.
If these two teams meet up again, I think we're watching a completely different ball.
Yeah. I could see, honestly, not necessarily the complete opposite, but I could see a high scoring affair.
Well, Georgia,
Honestly, I would, if, say, we had to fast forward, I'd say probably 28-24. type
Yeah.
game.
I'm going to say this.
Mid-school.
Yeah, I agree.
We definitely we
but-
definitely underestimated both of our defenses.
I
Like,
agree.
we both came on, we both. We
Either
all
that
three.
or overestimated our offense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. We all three came on here like, yeah, we got great defenses, but I didn't think our defense was gonna do that.
Well, and the thing is,
No,
I knew
neither
going in the nation, Jordan Davis probably the best interior lineman in the nation.
He's a monster.
I knew
No,
going
he is.
into the game that we were going to generate pressure. And the thing is, the 3-4, the linebackers get your pressure. But there was not one snap, believe it or not, that we got a sack that we technically blitzed.
Yeah. that's
Yeah.
To blitz, you have to
Yeah,
break
y'all,
6.
and that's the thing. If you look at the plays that y'all sacked us, like, if you have time enough to watch all those.
Oh, I promise you, if it airs tomorrow on TV, I'll watch the whole game over. I personally love defensive games.
Yeah.
I know every 17-year-old watching this, oh my God, I want to see 50 to 60.
Right.
No, give me 10 to 17, and I'll sit back
Right.
and eat popcorn.
But the thing is, all those sacks, there was nobody open.
That's true.
I mean,
Not all
not
of them.
necessarily
Not all of them.
Not
Not
all.
all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot
there's,
of
there's a handful, yeah.
But there's a lot of coverage sacks.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. That's football.
That's
Yeah,
football.
that's a team. That's
Hats
a
off
team.
to your secondary on
Yeah,
that.
that's a team effort.
Because here's the thing. In those opportunities to get a coverage sack, and I guess we need to wrap it up. We've gone over it, but this
It's
is a hot
okay.
topic. But
Yeah, nobody's gonna watch this long anyway.
in
so.
these coverage sacks, if these 3 or 4 guys rushing don't eventually get to him, give him 8 seconds, he's gonna make a play.
Right.
Somebody's gonna get open, and that's just how it is. But hats off to both these teams. Like I say, it came down to one play. Georgia
Made it.
I think Georgia deserved to win.
Yeah.
No,
no
Say
doubt.
what they want. I'm not saying they were head and shoulders better.
No.
No, you're right.
But
You're
you
right.
can
No,
argue
if-
that Georgia played slightly
Yeah.
better.
If
No, they did.
Clemson would have somehow pulled out the win, yeah, no doubt. I definitely think you still
If
would.
Vlad
we still-
McConkey is another 3 inches taller, we'd
Yeah.
probably convert there early on.
Right, yeah,
Um,
but if Clemson would have pulled it out somehow, I still would have thought that Georgia played a better game.
And I went back and watched that pick from JT, and while I'm not defending him, he made a bad read about
That was
throw.
a great. That
He
was a great
getting
play
he
call.
was getting hit by Miles
Yeah.
Murphy.
Yeah,
What are you gonna do when you're getting hit by Miles Murphy?
yeah.
I thought
And I
so.
mean, and that was an incredible disguise by Brent Venables and Bayless.
No,
Yes.
it was, and that's
yes.
what JT
I thought
said.
I mean, he looked like he was staying inside,
Yeah.
and he broke,
Right.
broke
They
out.
basically asked him what happened. He said they fooled me.
Yeah.
And that's a man named Brent Venables does that.
Yep. So,
But thanks for watching.
Yep.
Go Dogs. We got the helmets on the table. Separate W.
yeah. Stay tuned for game day video. You'll be seeing something that me and John are not looking forward to. So
They're loving it.
Just a little preview.
I'm gonna try to go hop in my fantasy draft and draft my
Somebody-
kicker and my
Glory,
defense.
yeah, glory, old Georgia. So
Hey, look here. Glory to old Georgia. Brock Bowers, my God, a true freshman.
yep,
My God,
gonna be a stud.
a true freshman.
So-
Hey, HBTFD, go Dogs.
Until next time, keep talking ball.